We know a guy.
I have 6 o'clock. We're good.
All right, we will call the September 5th meeting of the City of Winter Haven Planning Commission to order. Jordan, if you would, please take roll.
David Lane,
Here.
Mario Manigo, Elizabeth Davis. Here. Jennifer Fasking.
Here.
Wendy Venters.
Here.
Colin Wells.
Here.
Rick Hemingway. Tina Summerlin. And Craig Fuller.
Here.
We have a quorum.
If you would, please rise for the invocation and pledge. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve the City of Winter Haven and her residents. We thank you for another beautiful day. We ask that you be present with us and help guide our decisions. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'll do a brief explanation of how the hearing will go. Cases will be read into the record.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yep.
Approval of minutes
Oh,
first.
I'm sorry, you're right. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes.
If so, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve minutes.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, minutes are approved. Thank you, Heather. Brief explanation of how we'll handle the hearing. Cases will be read into the record, and then staff will provide a presentation. Once staff has presented, commissioners will have the opportunity to ask questions of staff. Once commissioners have had an opportunity to ask their questions, we will close the Planning Commission hearing and open the public portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against the case, starting with the applicant, may do so, and we ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes. Once everybody from the public has had opportunity to speak, we will close the public portion of the hearing and reopen the planning portion of the hearing. Commissioners will have an opportunity to ask any additional questions, or we'll entertain a motion and vote. Jordan, if you would, anybody who thinks they may speak, if you would please stand, and Jordan will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
All right, thank you, Jordan. All right, on to new business. Case number P-23-11-S, request by Gerda Estella for special use approval for a group home located in the multifamily residential low-density R3 zoning district, general location 952 Cambridge Drive. The area covered by this request is .14 plus or minus acres.
Heather Reuter, Senior Planner for the record. On the screen is the zoning map for this case. As you can see, the property subject to this request is zoned R3 multifamily residential low density. It is located in the Lucerne Park Reserve subdivision. As you look to the south, that is the Walmart Distribution Center that fronts on State Road 544 and does have an I-2 industrial designation, and there is some R2 in the city along Lucerne Loop Road. As we look at the aerial, it is a dated aerial. I wanted to show it just so you can see the parcel boundaries. It is a single-family subdivision that is platted. I did pull the Google Earth aerial to give you a little bit better understanding that it is a built-out single-family subdivision. The subject property showing in here is showing it's still under construction, but is completely built out at this time. As you look at the subject property, this is a view from the street. As you look to the west, you can see single-family residence to the north as well, and to the east. Again, this is a request for special use approval for a group home. The subject property at 952 Cambridge Drive is located on .14 acres in the Lucerne Park Reserve subdivision, which includes 346 single-family residential lots platted in 2020. The parcel consists of an approximately 1,978 square foot single-family home with 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms constructed in 2022. The applicant proposes to license the property for use as a group home for clients with development disabilities. Per the application, the site would employ 2 to 3 employees and provide 24-hour, 7 days a week care. Per Chapter 21, Article 9 definitions of the City of Winter Haven's Code of Ordinances, a group home facility shall mean a residential facility which provides a family living environment, including supervision and care necessary to meet the physical, emotional, and social needs of its residents. The capacity of such a facility shall be at least 4 residents, but not more than 15 residents. A group home facility requires special use approval in the R3 zoning district. Staff's review yields the following conclusions. Group homes are intended to provide a family living environment, including supervision and care necessary to meet the physical, emotional, and social needs of its residents. The locations of group homes are regulated by local government zoning law. Licensing and operation are regulated by Florida statutes and the Florida Administrative Code. While the subject property is designated R3 zoning, which allows a mixture of single-family and multifamily uses, it is located in a 346-lot exclusively single-family subdivision, which is part of an established Community Development District, CDD, and a homeowners association. And the R3 zoning designation permits group homes by special use approval. Per Section 21-411, special uses are generally considered to be appropriate for any zoning district that permits the particular use by special use approval. The intent of a special use is to provide for a process to review, as the use may by its nature may need to be more closely examined for compatibility at a particular location. The location of the proposed group home in an exclusively single-family residential subdivision is not compatible with surrounding uses. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission deny this request based on the stated conclusions. This is the floor plan, which is the boundary survey provided by the applicant showing the single-family home as constructed. And again, this is the aerial. I stand for any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I do. Do we have any idea what the age will be of the people who will be placed there? Will they be younger? Will they be older? Will they go out for programming for the handicapped and disabled?
All I have from the application that it will be for individuals with development disabilities. It does not give an age. That would be all through licensing with the state. From our standpoint here at the city and the planning level is the use of itself as a group home.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Parking with staff showing employees being there and potential visitors or others, any indication of parking challenges that may come up?
It would require, as it would be a change in use from the single family to a group home if it were granted for special use approval, it would require it to go through site plan. Looking at that, it would determine how many, depending on exactly criteria that's submitted at that time for employees and how many beds would determine what the parking requirements would be and whether they could be handled within the existing garage and driveway that exists.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, have you reviewed or checked the HOA bylaws or the CDD, and what's their stance on this?
So we did not hear from anyone from the homeowners association. From a planning standpoint, that is not something that's a private matter of that. Most HOA deed restrictions do not allow this type of use. That would be between the property owner and the HOA, should that be the case. We have to look at it from city code standpoint and not get into the civil matters.
Okay, thanks.
Heather, I do have one more question too. Is, do we typically see this type of a scenario in a non-HOA setting? Like, I mean, what would be an acceptable alternative to this?
So I've been here a little over 7 years. We did have one other request for a special use approval that was in the R3 zoning district. It was located in an area that was a mixture of single-family, multifamily uses. It was kind of in the traditional neighborhood area where you saw those mixtures of uses, and it was deemed appropriate with proper conditions. This being an exclusively single-family subdivision with those deed restrictions, CDD, that kind of development, we do not feel it's compatible because there isn't the mixture of uses within there.
Gotcha.
I'll also make the comment, as I recollect on that, it was kind of on a main thoroughfare, or if not, like a block from it, very easy access to all city-type facilities or other improvements that are kind of maybe necessary. You know, for example, you're going to need a lot more medical, I would assume, access than a normal location would. And this being back in the back of a neighborhood doesn't really make sense for that.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Does this development as a whole have recreation facilities or, you know, a swimming pool or that kind of thing?
Yeah, there was part of the subdivision requirements to have recreational. If you look up to the top northeast part of the subdivision, you can see there, the community facilities there.
Okay, would these residents have access to this, or would it not be appropriate for them?
That would not be a matter for us to discuss. That would
I
be a
see,
civil matter
okay.
with the HOA.
Thank you.
Any other questions from commissioners? Okay, we will go ahead and close the city portion of the hearing and open the public portion of the hearing. If the applicant is present, would like to speak. No? When you approach, if you would, we'll have Jordan swear you in, and then if you would state your name and address for the record.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
My name is Gerda Estella. My name is Gerda Estella, and my primary resident is 665 Oglethorpe Drive, Davenport, Florida. And to answer the gentleman with the plaid shirt, the age will be 18 to 64. Also, as far as the swimming pool, no, they would not be anywhere in the swimming pool area. And also, as far as the parking spot, we have two car garage parking spot and plus the garage. It would be an exchanging shift, so it would always be me and my husband, and when my husband will not be there or myself, it will be another person to assist us. So we would not be holding the parking from the street. It would be a regular van, 7, 8 passenger van, just a regular family-sized van. It would pretty much be the same as for if you were to have your family or loved ones inside your home that they need someone like a personal care to come assist you with daily living. I don't know if you guys have any more questions for me.
Any other questions?
I have one. Will the residents who are the subject of this be going out for programming in the daytime, or will they be full-time in the development?
Yes, there will be a full-time day center. They will be attending to in Dundee and Angel of Hopes. They will attend it there full-time, Monday to Friday.
Okay, will there be buses coming for them, or what is the transportation?
Transportation will be a regular family-sized van,
I see.
8-passenger van.
One will take all of them, or will there be
Yes,
several?
because it was only going to be 4-bed, 5-bed. 4-bed, 5-bed, the last bed will be like a respite in case of an emergency.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
questions? Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? If you would, please state your name and address for the record.
Jose Aviles, and my address is 928 Cambridge Drive. And I object to this because I'm about 200 feet from this 952 address, and I don't like the idea of having a business in a single-family residence area. This is a business. If you look at the homeowners association, it says that you cannot have a business there. So I don't know why this lady's trying to put a business in our beautiful community, and she doesn't even live there. She just owns the property. So I object to this right now, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for your comments. If you would, please have Jordan, we'll have her swear you in and then state your name and address.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
Yes. My name is George Sorrell. My address is 670 Payton Book Drive. I'm actually one of the HOA board members. I'm here now as a HOA board member, as a homeowner. All these are actually homeowners. A lot of them are not for this. I actually spoke to the person with the petition as well, twice already. I actually spoke to her today as well. At this moment, we don't believe this is the correct thing for the community. This is about 3.5-year-old community. We're not comfortable at this moment having this in our area. There's too many wide open doors at this moment. The age is very wide open. The petition with whatever kind of licensing she has, we're not sure what kind of license she has. So it's very, very open at this moment. Also, there is a lot of bylaws in the HOA. Some of them that she already has a violation already with the HOA. So again, might not be the best thing for us and the best thing for her. And I did let her know that today as well. The transportation, there are also rules in parking. Like we have one side parking on the road. That's from a CDD. And of course, we have special parking that you can have like block, sidewalks, stuff like that. That's of course part of parking rules as well. And like I say, most of the people do not agree with having this committee here, having this particular, it is considered a business because it's licensed as like an LLC. She is calling them their clients. She is now be living in the residence. She is pretty much renting her residence out to a company and running a business inside her home. And like I say, people around the area, especially people who live around her house, are not very comfortable at this moment. So I ask the community to please to vote against this. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Good. We'll have Jordan swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
How's everyone doing? First of all, I appreciate everybody's time. Just a second on what Mr. Sorrell said. I am also acting
If you
vice.
would, can I have you state your name and your
Yes.
address for the record, please?
Yes, Rolando Lopez, 901 Cambridge Drive. I'm acting vice president as well of the Homeowners Association. So just to highlight and pinpoint, number one, there is majority here between himself and myself. From where the HOA's viewpoint on this is, the community has lived in the last couple of 6 months quite a bit of crime rate, police presence. So I want to emphasize on one thing. The HOA nor do the residents are objecting to this in any discriminatory way. We love what group homes do. However, we do not think it's in the best interest of the community based on the homeowners' feedback to the HOA for this time to have a group home in the community. A couple of issues you guys mentioned, parking being one of them. We do have one-sided parking. However, driveways are also very narrow. So there is an existing violation, like Mr. George said. this home, I believe there was some pipe installed in the community without going through the proper approval process or process that is required for every other homeowner. So this already started in a bad place by thinking that, number one, you can make amendments and make things to your homes without going through appropriate approvals. But number two, running a business itself. There is an existing bylaw that strictly denies that. We have denied, as an HOA, other businesses. So to allow this simply seems very hypocritical from the HOA standpoint and from the community itself. We are a growing community, and for the most part, we don't think this is a good idea. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, good evening. My name's Diana Macesko, 884 Cambridge Drive.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
Yes, ma'am. I want to speak more, I agree with everything that everybody said here from the HOA standpoint, but I also want to speak as a parent. I am a parent of a child with disabilities, and they range from very mild disability to ones that are very severe. And I have concerns with our neighborhood and with having a group home in this neighborhood, and also with children. As much as I give so much credit to the petitioner for having a group home and wanting that in our neighborhood, and I would love to say I'm for this, I'm not, because our neighborhood is not the place for this at this point. As Rolando had said earlier, the crime rate in our neighborhood has been quite extensive. There's a lot of police presence. We have people that are flying through this neighborhood, going 50, 60 miles an hour. I understand having 2 people in that home for 5 or 6 disabled, from my understanding, severe disabilities. I think it's a lot, and sorry, I'm emotional. And I give a lot of credit for taking care of adults and children with these disabilities. This is not the area, it is not the place for these adults to be. And I wish I could say different, because what she's doing is commendable. It is just not the right place to be for that. We have so many things going on in this neighborhood, and even though it's growing and it's getting better, it is not where this needs to be today. And I fear for the residents that would be there, and I fear for the people that are there at this time. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
I do. Hi, my name's, sorry, I got a loud voice. My name's Jeff Kirk, I'm 884 Cambridge Drive. That was my wife. Right off the bat, I'm not against group homes, but I am against putting a group home in a single-family area where it's all single families and it's brand new. Like my wife had reiterated, we have had high crime. We don't have safe drivers in our neighborhood yet. We're working on that. We're trying to work with the HOA to put in speed bumps, to do extra things. We've worked with the HOA and Winter Haven to actually start our neighborhood watch. These are things that we're just growing on. But we have had break-ins, and I fear, like my wife said, for these people, if they're there at night and there's no one there only one person there to protect these people, they're gonna see that as a way to get in, and they won't be stopped. We do have thieves in our neighborhood. They are working on getting rid of them. The police department's been working with us extensively on this. We've seen outdoor cameras in our neighborhood grow, like every house has 4 or 5 of them now. That's how bad it got at one point. As my wife said, I commend the lady for trying to start a group home. I think in a multi-family area, it's probably great where you have houses that have 2 or 3, can fit 2 or 3 families in it, but these aren't big houses. Yes, they're 4-bedroom, yes, they're 3-bath, but they're not 2 beds to a bedroom type of house. I mean, 17 or 1,900 square feet, not that big. The other part of it is, as one of the board members here mentioned, it is in the back of our subdivision. So if they had a medical emergency, it's not going to be easy for medical to get to them. Our roads are not wide. The reason we had to change our roads to single-side parking is because when we had double-sided parking where you could park on both sides of the street, you could not get down the road with anything wider than a regular, like, small SUV. If you had a Ford F-250 or anything, you had to find other ways. Because your mirrors would literally, you'd be hoping you weren't going to clip somebody. That's how, it's not a very, it seems like a regular-sized road, it's a regular-sized road, but it just, when you put two cars on it, you can't fit through it. Even with a single car, the amount of traffic we have is a lot. So getting around, I think that would be a major problem, and I would hate to see something go wrong, and then these people not get the care they need, especially due to parking or people driving around and being crazy. That's a big worry of mine. I hope if, like I said, I'm against this, if it does get denied, I hope she can find a different area, and I would love to help her champion a different area, a different house to find, and I would be behind her if she could find an area that has these group homes already in it or have had them in the past where they have ample parking, they have ample streetways, and they have ample resources around them. Lucerne Park Drive, Old Lucerne Park Drive, as we all know, not the easiest road to go up and down in the middle of the day. It gets super busy and traffic gets backed up and it takes you a long time to get down that road. That's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, my name is Pedro Veras.
If you would, when you'd have Jordan swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this case shall be the truth?
Yes, I do. My name is Pedro Perez, 857 Cambridge Drive, Winter Haven. I just want to say that my wife and me, coming from other country, about 6 years ago, after the Hurricane Maria hit our island, we came here, live in the mobile home park for about 2 years. There's no rules, nothing there. It was very bad for us living over there. We worked so hard looking at a place to live, and we look in this community and we read all the laws, the bylaws that have the community, and we found that, okay, this community have the right rules for us to live there. There's no business, things like that. And I think that it's not fair that people who looking a specific place to live with the specific rules have to change their way to live because someone tried to put a business. As my other neighbor says, this is a beautiful cause. I personally raised funds for these causes in Puerto Rico before, but I think this is not the right place to put this home because what already other people says. So that's all what I want to say. It would be so hard for us try to look in another place. And I think the owner of this house, a good approach was looking the rules and says, okay, this community is not the right place for us, and looking another place because this already have some rules established. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Before you go, well, does anybody else from the public wish to speak after her? If you would, please stand up. We're going to go ahead and swear everybody in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth?
Yes, I do. Hi, good evening. My name is Alexia Rimpel. I am at 961 Cambridge Drive, so I'm going to be very close to this home. I guess for my husband and myself, the main concern, which my husband has actually worked in juvenile detention as well as group homes as a profession, is that the definition of the group home. Right now, this is deemed for individuals from 18 to 60-something with disabilities, which is fabulous, but when will that change? Or there's a possibility of that, right? And then if the clients are going to change into, is it high-risk youths or, you know, I think it's just too open and vague, and that's just my main concern of when that will change. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I don't got to swear no more,
My name's Jacob Ortiz. I live at 254 Meadowbrook Boulevard. Originally, when I first moved into this community 3 years ago, I understood that HOA wasn't established, but I understood the rules that were coming into effect. And me and my wife, we understood, and that's where we had chose to be. We want to keep the same mentality going forward. So I do object to this group home that's coming in to 952 Cambridge. And piggyback off of what my neighbor Pedro has said, you know, I don't want this to open up a gateway for more group homes and businesses to come into effect, because I chose a single-family resident home for single families. So I object to this LLC, that's all.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else wish to speak? No? All right, we will close the public portion of the hearing and reopen the planning portion of the hearing. Any additional questions from commissioners?
Yes. Is this considered a business by the regulations that make group homes possible? That's number one question. And number two is, do we have in the city of Winter Haven any other group homes that are in a residential setting such as this?
So I can't speak 100% to how the Florida statutes define it. I believe that they look at the different residential care facilities as a residential type entity versus necessarily a business commodity. But I will speak that as far as the state and how we're preempted and how our code reads, there are things called family care homes, adult family care homes, which are 5 beds or less. They should look like a single-family home from the outside, and they're permitted by right in all of our single-family zoning districts as well as this multifamily into R3. The difference with those is the provider is the homeowner and resides in the home and provides the care facility for those under the licensure of the care. The group home, the difference with the group home is that the providers do not have to live in there. So that's where the elevation and the difference, and that's why this requires special use versus the others are permitted by right. Okay, and I forgot what your second question was, I'm sorry.
Are there any
Oh,
others?
other group homes. I don't believe so. Again, we had the one special use approval that was approved, but then the property owner never fulfilled that within the 1 year. So it was never established.
Okay, thank you.
I was gonna say, further as I recollect, it was not in an area like this at all.
Yeah, the other one was, it's completely different scenario.
Any other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to deny case number P-23-11-S, a request by Guerra Stella for special use approval for a group home located in the multifamily residential low-density R3 zoning district, general location being 952 Cambridge Drive. Area covered by this request is 0.14 more or less acres as presented in the fact sheet and clarified by staff.
Second?
Second. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. The motion is approved, case is denied. All right, moving on. Case number P-23-52, administrative request to amend section 21 through 96D of the Winter Haven Code of Ordinances for the purpose of addressing hours for sale or service of alcoholic beverages.
All right, Heather Reuter again for the record. In recent years, several surrounding municipalities within Polk County have revised their hours for sale or service for Sundays. In 2021, Senate Bill 148 was signed into law, which allows restaurants to sell alcoholic beverages prepared by the vendor in sealed containers. This provision of state law allows for this service as part of the establishment's consumption on premises license. Local businesses with a desire to offer on-premises alcohol sales prior to 12 noon on Sunday for brunch service and package sales of spirits on Sundays have approached staff frequently in recent years. Customers are able to travel to nearby cities for these offerings, and local Winter Haven businesses lose these missed sales opportunities. This is a little bit of a diagram to talk about the current and proposed that is in your fact sheet. So currently, beer and wine only for off-premise consumption on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. next. That's package sales. The proposed is all alcoholic beverages would be allowed during those hours. Sale of service of alcohol beverages for on-premise consumption is currently from 12 noon to 12 midnight. The proposal is to make this start at 7 a.m. as all other days of the week. In conclusion, this request is consistent with long-term goals to grow the social, cultural, and business community of the city. Additionally, this amendment allows the City of Winter Haven standards to be more consistent with neighboring municipalities to allow local Winter Haven businesses the opportunity to be competitive within Polk County. Staff recommends the Planning Commission recommend approval of this request, and it's forwarding to the City Commission for final action. I stand for any questions.
Any questions?
No questions.
No questions? Okay. Seeing as we have none, we will close the planning portion of the commission and open the public portion of the commission. Any comments from the public? All right. Seeing as we have none, we will close the public portion of the hearing and reopen the planning portion of the hearing, and we will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question, please, sir?
We have closed the public portion of the hearing.
For the record, T. Michael Stabber, City Manager. Heather, can you bring back up the table, please?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure that I read it as correct, that off-site consumption, so package sales as proposed would be from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m.?
Yes, same time. What we're doing is expanding that from just beer and wine package sales, that spirits would also be allowed.
And on-site would be till midnight on Sundays?
Yes.
And it includes a provision that if Sunday is December 31st, that on-site consumption will go until 2 a.m. Monday next?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I'll make the motion to approve case number P-23-52, administrative request to amend section 2196D of the Winter Haven Code of Ordinances for the purpose of addressing hours for sale or service of alcoholic beverages as included in the fact sheet.
Second. I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Motion passes.
Appropriate?
What am I doing?
Other business.
Comments from
Oh,
staff?
yeah, other business. I'm sorry. That's where I was going with it. I thought she wanted something else from me.
Hey, I gotta have a chance to say something tonight.
Not really.
Just kind of up in our past items. I'll get to the big one in a minute, but all the items we heard in August, they're all slowly working their way through the city commission process, and they'll all be finalized by the end of the month of September. The most notable thing that's happened in the last week is we did adopt the 2035 comprehensive plan. So that's been successfully adopted and will be sent back to the state for mostly record keeping. But that is now in effect, and that's going to guide our future for the next, 3 years. In 2025, we'll have to start this over to comply with some new state laws. So we'll get a little break, and then we'll get to start again. So and that's all I have.
Oh, and one other, we just did get our Bieber estimate from University of Florida. The April 2023 estimate of our current population is 53,716.
55.
I mean 55. I mean 55,716.
764.
764.
That's right.
Okay. So we get close. 55,000 and change.
Changing every day.
And change.
Changing every day.
And we did the math. That's about 6.5 people moving to Winter Haven every day.
Wow. Given the rate of what we've approved, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not approaching 60 next year. So, wow.
Excellent. All right, any comments from the public?
Nothing here.
No? All right. Commissioners, no? All right, next meeting, October 3rd. We are adjourned.